Hi guys, welcome to today's video. Today's video I want to talk to you about decluttering your life, and especially decluttering your digital life. I declutter often. If you've watched any of my videos, living in New York, I'm a very minimalistic person. I declutter my closets often, and I have a very minimalistic view on material things in general. But especially now that I've been traveling for the past few months, I've already cut down a bunch of my stuff. I've realized that there's a lot of clutter in my digital space, my digital life. So that's what I've been working on lately, and I thought I would share with you guys basically what I've been decluttering and how that's been helping my mental state. I've never done a digital declutter before, and if you haven't done one before, that's completely okay. If that's you also, we're in this together. I definitely think it was worth doing. A lot of our work, a lot of our connections are digital, so it's really important to clean your phone, clean your laptop, just as much as it is to clean your personal physical space. So let's get into it. These are the things that I like to focus on when I did my digital declutter, and I hope you enjoy. For a digital declutter, I really wanted to focus on what my goals were. I wanted to feel a sense of clear and clean instead of just being hit with information. And I also wanted to increase my productivity and use my technology to really help focus and improve my life instead of just like making it a place to dump things, which is what I did for the past 10 years. So where I started first was with my photos. And the reason that I started on photos really is because every time I opened my phone, I would basically see that my iCloud was out of storage or my phone hadn't been backed up. And that reminder every day was really, it's like the equivalent of walking over a pair of jeans on the floor every day. Like, just put those away. See, I probably had like 30,000 photos on my camera roll, which is absolutely insane. And while I didn't want to get rid of all my photos because they're very sentimental to me, I definitely wanted to cut them down and make them more, I don't know, more pleasurable to scroll through, easier to find things. But starting small, the first thing I did was try to organize my favorites folder. I wanted my favorites folder to be something that's much more handy. So I first went through and unfavorited all those and kept my really important pictures or screenshots right up front. And that was really helpful. The second easy thing I did was go through my albums and delete albums that I just didn't need. You know, albums that I created for different projects in the past or different vacations that I wasn't really sparking joy. I just kind of went through and cut down all my albums to the very few that I really enjoyed seeing. And then the really biggie, and I have to say there's no easy way to do this, is just to go through your camera roll. I took it slow. Over the course of like 4 or 5 days, I was able to cut down those 30,000 photos to about 1,000 to 2,000, which for me is pretty reasonable considering how many years it covers. I did that, and that took a long time, but it was so worth it. In general, my photos have been much, much cleaner, and it makes me much happier to look through my photos, which is really the point of taking photos to begin with. Moving on from photos, let's talk about mail boxes. I don't know if everyone does this, but I have so many mail accounts. The first thing I did was, before I cut anything back, was I added all of my email accounts to one app so that I can see every piece of email that I have in one place instead of having to look at them separately or just letting things pile up because I don't see them regularly. And then what I did was organize my inboxes. I made sure to name all of my inboxes so that I could actually figure out what they are very easily. And then it was time to start cutting things down. I sorted my inbox for all of the social and promotional emails, and then I just deleted all of them. For me, I was not going to miss any of those promotions, and I knew they would probably come back and email me again. I wasn't going to sift through them, so I just deleted them. Out of sight, out of mind, and as I keep my inbox tidy, I will unsubscribe to those emails. The second thing I did was, there were a ton of unread emails that are not considered social or promotional. At this point, I'm probably not going back to read those emails, but I didn't want to delete them in case I needed to search for something that I had missed. So I decided just to get rid of the little notification at the top of my inbox by marking all those old emails as read. The next way I liked to declutter my digital space is really to make it aesthetic and productive for me. In the spirit of like newness and decluttering, I decided to change my wallpapers, just change both of them to something that was just very calming to me or made me very happy to look at or see. So for my lock screen, I made it a very simple white textured background, so really easy on the eyes. So whenever I picked up my phone to check the time or check notifications, I wasn't being hit with noise and color. And then when I open my lock screen, I have my home screen. And here in my home screen, I have just the most basic half of the home screen for apps, and the rest of the other half is free. That's, to me, is a very good amount. It's not overwhelming to me. It's really productive for me. And I think that's the point. When I open my phone, I want it to be something that is helpful to me and not overwhelming. Something I also really love to do is to get a new phone case. A phone case can be super, super cheap. I got this for €5. It's not like, you know, the cutest thing in the world, but I do think it's fun. Getting a new phone case just instantly makes me feel like my phone is clean again and makes me feel like I have a brand new phone. Or if you can just give your phone case a nice wash, I think that also makes it feel brand new and decluttered. The last goal I had with my phone was to create productivity or schedules that help me focus. One function that I've been wanting to use for a long time and hadn't until now is focus mode. I just tried to keep it super simple, and I created a sleep mode. Instead of having to actively ignore notifications at those hours, my phone goes to like do not disturb, basically, where only my husband or my daughter would be able to text me. I like that the focus mode was set on a schedule and just kind of helped me get into that bedtime. And then also everyone who has an Apple iPhone, they'll see that I'm not receiving texts at this time. Sleep in general is super important for mental health, and one of the biggest things that I've been working on recently in order to get myself into a good mental state. So anything I can do to help with my sleep has been really, really great for me. Something I really want to do was to find one good app that would help with my overall scheduling and productivity. I know a lot of people recently have been liking Notion. I love the idea of Notion, but I think it takes a lot of customization and daily upkeep to really use effectively. Lately, what I've been using a lot has just been notes. So I'm a big note taker. I love to brain dump my thoughts, my to-dos. I have a bunch of different folders, work thoughts, for my personal thoughts, for recipes, for places I want to travel, for general ideas, for YouTube thoughts. But yeah, basically having all my notes organized in folders really helps me keep my life organized and my brain organized. I've been really searching for apps that help me with my lifestyle. So like I said, using focus mode, using notes, those come with Apple iPhone, but I've also been searching for outside apps that help me with my personal life. So for me, that has been some examples. The Calm app. I've been loving the Calm app for sleep stories. Between the Calm app and the Audible app, which I like to listen to on a sleep timer, those have really helped me get into a sleep schedule, especially when my brain is not quite ready to sleep yet. For the female body, I've been loving the Flow app. The Flow app has really helped me just have a really simple, easy to use application to track my periods and ovulation and just kind of understand that cycle a little better. 30 years into life is when I'm trying to understand myself, my body specifically, and it's never too late. If you have a laptop, hard drives, memory cards, things like that, it's also super important, I think, to clear those out every once in a while. I think it's really great if you don't have an external hard drive to get one, especially for all of your photos, for all of your digital files and resources from laptops, phones, cameras, just to have one place to move them to that can be the storage warehouse unit instead of keeping all those things on those different devices, I think is a really freeing feeling. And then the last thing that I've been doing, and this one you take it or leave it, it's all up to you, but for social media, I have found as like a newbie that social media has been a very stressful and mentally draining place for me. I have noticed that my energy level is being given to people who are not necessarily in my physical presence, but I'm allowing to access me digitally. And so trying to limit who can access me and how they get into my brain, I think is really helpful from a decluttering perspective, but also mental health perspective. So something that I've had to do for my personal health has just been to turn off notifications. And I've done the same thing with text messages and phone calls with family and friends even. There are some people that I've had to temporarily mute or block because of the amount of energy it feels like I have to give them. And no hard feelings from my end. It's just something that I know I have to do for me. Just sharing this with you, I hope that it just gives you the permission, the freedom, the allowance to block or mute or even unfollow someone who has been stressing you or someone who doesn't make you feel good, because you have to curate, in my opinion, you have to curate your own existence, your own life. It doesn't have to be personal, at least not personal against another person, but definitely just more about you and knowing yourself and trusting yourself and preserving. So that is everything that I've been doing to declutter my digital space, and I have felt so much better and so much happier to actually use my phone. I think it's super important and not done enough, and definitely not talked about enough. I couldn't find too many other videos talking about a digital declutter, but it has been so important and has felt so good, so I definitely recommend it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you got some inspiration, some ideas of ways that you can declutter your own personal lives. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.